What's going on, guys? Today we are working on AJ's Ford Escape. Now, you have to remember AJ, he's in a bunch of my Grid Life videos, and we worked on his Focus. I don't think we've ever done a video on his Miata, but he also has a Miata, which you would know if you've seen the Grid Life videos. But today we are doing suspension on his Ford Escape. I'll let him explain to you guys everything that we're doing.
I unfortunately brought this into work one day only to find out that pretty much every control arm, both inner and outer tie rods in the front, and my sway links in the front and back are all shot. So I bought all Moog replacements, and tonight Nick and I are going to replace all of them.
Yesterday.
Alright, well, I put the Escape up on the hoist last week, and it turns out I need a full suspension and steering replacement. So Nick's coming over and helping me out with that. Let's get started. So one of the very first things that I, being a Michigander, need to make sure I take care of is this car has seen some road salt, which means there's going to be quite a bit of rust underneath it. So I'm hitting it with some PB spray first. This is actually the day before Nick and I are going to be doing all of the suspension and steering replacements, and this should hopefully break loose any bolts a lot easier tomorrow. Alright, so here's everything we're replacing on the Escape. We've got the two front lower control arms, rear upper and lowers are right here. We've got sway bar links, inner tie rod ends, rear sway links, and outer tie rods. And that's it, which I can't believe I'm even saying that's it. That's quite a bit. And then after all this is done, we have to do an alignment on it, which fortunately, again, I work in a shop, and that's not going to cost anything extra for us. Okay, I gotta hit these four, which you can see I've already done. This control arm is being replaced, this is being replaced, and these little itty bitty sway links, which have also been sprayed already.
The next day.
So we got boxes and boxes of stuff. We have already started. I got the wheels off. So far, all that's replaced, AJ replaced this lower control arm before I got here, and then we just did the inner and outer tie rod arm right here. So now we're gonna go ahead, and what are we doing next?
We're gonna go over to the passenger side, and we're gonna do the same thing over there.
Okay. We also put this end link in here. It's just loose right now because we got to do the other side before we tighten them. But that's where we're at right now. So we've only done one corner of the car, but we got 3 more corners to do. So what do you want to start with on this side?
Let's do the lower control arm.
Okay, so here we'll start with the lower control arm. Do you got to take the end link out or no?
Yeah, sway link will come out as well.
Does it matter what order?
No. When I did the first side, I took the lower control arm out first.
Okay. That's actually probably good because then we can get to this stuff from underneath.
Pretty easily, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take out the lower control arm.
Denim jeans, broken dreams in my pocket. Golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, cause you caught it. You caught it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the young, so I could show you.
Alright, so you're sliding the new control arm in now. The old one was a really big pain to get out. It fought with us, and then it was hitting the rotor as we were taking it out, so we had to take the rotor off so that we didn't ruin that any more than we have. And now this one's going back in. While he's doing that, so I'll start working on the back end while he's working on the front end. So I'll start on the same side as him.
Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine, just so that I could show you you're golden.
All right, so back here, it looks like we just got 2 bolts per control arm. Each one has a ball joint on this side and a bushing on that side. So I'm gonna do the lower first. So I'm gonna undo this bolt right here, and then not this one, this one on this side here, and take that one out, and then this one is just up here, and this one right here. Alright, so here on this one, as you may have seen in the time lapse, we had to move the shock out of the way and cut this upper control arm out because it was seized. This side came out really easily. The ball joint was the part that was stuck. I got it broken loose, but the nut ended up seizing on the ball joint itself. So we cut that out. The thing that sucks is that rather than being sent this arm, he was sent 2 of these arms. So we just cut that one out, so we can't put it back in. So now he's kind of stuck. But we're gonna go ahead and just finish the job, except for that upper control arm, and then he's gonna try to get another one. Do you want to mention where you're at right now? Up front here, what you've done?
Yeah, so we've got the lower control arm in up here.
Here, I'll come this way.
Taken out the sway bar end link up here. We've got to put that in. I'm in the process of removing the inner tie rod end. I've already taken the outer off. Once that's out, we can start putting new parts on.
Sounds good. And now we're moving on to this side.
When we meet, hold my hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies laid on the carpet. Eye to eye, glistening. No, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me, I'm to the street like I am, so I could show you. You're golden.
So AJ's up here doing the sway bar links, and he's still working on the tie rod end here. As you can see, he's actually not replacing this one because it's pretty good, and we can't get the pipe wrench in there to get it loosened. We need a different tool. So this one's put back in. He just has to put the new tie rod end on it. He's tightening these right now. This control arm's in, other side's done. And then if we come back here, this side's the same as it was, missing the upper control arm. This side is done. It was pretty difficult. Did have to fight these, getting them on and off for some reason. But everything back here is tight. Just keep in mind that we do know these are, rubber bushings. So these actually have to be torqued under load. So they are tight right now. But what's going to happen is he's going to take this down from here when we're all done and put it on the alignment rack. And while it's on the alignment rack, he's going to go back underneath and loosen these and retorque them. So now while he's finishing up there, I'm just going to change out these sway bar end links, and then I'm going to be all done in the back. So I don't know if I showed this, but the new sway bar end links are in now. So we got the lower control arms back here, the one upper control arm, the end links, and then we're missing this upper control arm. If we come up here, everything up front is back together. So we're all done up here. Everything's new except for that inner tie rod end, but we got new sway bar end links, new outer tie rod end, new lower control arm. On this side, we did replace the inner tie rod end as well. So So you can see this one's brand new. New sway bar end link, new lower control arm. And then that's gonna be it for today. AJ has new tires for this thing, so he's gonna get the upper control arm for the rear in, and then mount new tires on this, and then put it on the alignment rack and do an alignment.
All right, so it's the end of the workday on Friday. I finally got the lower control arm, or upper control arm for this side right here. It's in. I took this off the hoist that we were working on 2 days ago, and I've actually, you can see I'm starting to get it ready to be aligned. I'm running the alignment computer right now, and I'll kind of talk you through what I'm doing as I go. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the alignment, I guess, sensors on all 4 wheels. And what I have to do before I get started is I've actually got to chock my wheels straight, which is convenient because the alignment rack came with this fancy tool. And then I also had to chock my wheels because the car is in neutral right now, and I don't want it rolling away with me. Next step is going to be going through some steps on the computer here and basically doing an initial reading. So give me just a moment and we'll get that taken care of. All right, so we finished the initial calibration. You can see I'm getting my initial readings right now. And now the next thing I have to do is actually have this adjusted by lifting up the car a little bit more and rotating my inner tie rods until these numbers right here reach something like probably negative 0.05 on each side. And as expected, looking at this screen, I have some pretty significant negative toe on the left. The right's not too terribly bad, but I'm definitely going to have to adjust the left and the right to make sure that my toe is not almost negative 1 degree. That is going to wear a tire down real quick. All right, so in addition to adjusting my front, because I apparently also have some pretty significant bad toe in the rear on my left side, I'm gonna go ahead and make that adjustment right now first. That's the first one it's recommending I start with. So here we go. All right, so we're back underneath the Escape on the alignment rack. It took me way too long to find the right tool to actually do this, but there's an adjustment plate right here. So I had to loosen this bolt, and on the other side, I had to find an extremely long but like narrow enough to fit in here wrench so that I could tighten this side. This is welded to this plate on both sides, and that's what adjusts this bad boy right here. And if you can direct your attention to the computer screen, we now have way closer matching toe on both sides, and we're pretty much dead center here, which is way better than what we had before I even started doing work on the car. So we're gonna call this a win and move on to the next one. All right, the next thing it's got me doing is adjusting my front caster. And as you can see, this software has really nice photos and descriptions on how to make all the adjustments in case you don't know how, or if this is your first time doing an alignment like me. So I'm in here loosening all these up, and then I've got to rotate this nut in the center here until things look good on the screen. And let's get started. So I realized only after trying to adjust the caster that this vehicle doesn't really have adjustable caster unless you put caster camber plates on the top hats. Not interested in doing that, not interested in even trying. I'm not within spec on caster, but I'm like 1/100th of a degree off, so I don't think it's going to cause too terribly much concern. Next step is going to be toe, which is the fun one because I have to adjust the inner tie rods. All right, so once again, this alignment software is extremely intuitive. It talks you through the entire first step, and I have to try and get this as close to 0 as possible. Let's see what I can do. All right, I already did the passenger side, but I'm over here on the left driver's side, and if you've seen Nick do an alignment before, you already know what I'm doing. I'm loosening this nut right here, and I am using this 13mm wrench to latch onto the inner tie rod and twist it until I reach as close to 0 as possible on that screen. Okay, so here's what it looked like before I completed the alignment. You can see there's quite a bit of red, especially on toe and front and rear. And with some real quick and easy adjustments, let's see if I can scroll down a little bit. Pretty much everything is green, and I could not get the caster to adjust again because I don't have caster camber plates, but I am within 1 degree of being to spec, so I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. But with that, the Escape is aligned, and the last thing I need to do is put on tires, but unfortunately we are in the process of moving our tire machine and the balancer, so even though they're here, we don't have electricity or air set up on either of them, so we're going to hold off until after the weekend to get that done. But that's it for today.
Alright guys, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you don't mind. I want to give a huge shout out to AJ for recording the rest of that video for us. A lot of knowledgeable stuff in there. But once again, thank you so much for watching. Peace out.